those emails that I send and see, click, fix, I feel like they fall on deaf ears.
They're not going anywhere.
So like, we need people with with the passion and wanting to make a difference, to improve people's quality of life.
Which is basically documenting some of our findings from today, and then that will basically be shared with the city and other decision makers. So yeah, take as much notes as possible on these clipboards. If you have any questions around like what the different sections are, there's a prompt sheet that will help you, like what should go in the safety bracket or in the connections, but it's also free form too, so feel free to fill it out how you feel, like how you think things should be documented, and then we'll make sense of it. So just waiting on a few more folks and then we'll get started. How you doing? You? Oh, you already have one. Anybody else need one? Mary, I'll give you one. I'll take one. And pens. I'll add the pass out pens too. Hi, everybody. My name is Yolando. I'm with Walk Massachusetts. We are a pedestrian advocacy organization, just working to see how we can make our communities more walkable, safer for people who are moving around on our pedestrian infrastructure, people of all abilities, people who are on wheelchairs, along with people who are moving around in mobility devices, and just walkers of all ages and abilities. Yeah, Brockton, we got this grant from the Office of Grants and Research, basically trying to see how we can improve some of the challenges that exist on our roadways that pedestrians are dealing with. And we get to pick these different places in the community that we think there are challenges. So we've looked at MassDOT data to help us figure out where there are like these clusters of crashes and where where we have had fatalities. So today we're going to experience an area where there has been a significant amount of crashes and challenges, and we're going to make some recommendations. So you have this clipboard here, and on this clipboard you can document different things like what are some of the safety challenges, what are some different connection pieces that people will utilize in this neighborhood, what are some of the different destinations, and what are some of those barriers that might exist at destinations, comfort. Trees are pedestrian infrastructure. Are there trees along the way? Do people have access to benches? Or are there pieces like shading that might be at a BAT bus stop or something like that? If you do have any questions around like what you should document, you can always go to the second sheet here, which is like the prompt sheet, and it'll give you some different things you can keep an eye out for, or just keep be aware of as you try to document things. Yeah, so I would love for us to just go around and introduce ourselves before we get started on our walk. So if you can just share your name, if you have any affiliations, or you could just say resident of Brockton, and what brought you here today. So my name is Yolando Spinola. I'm with Walk Massachusetts. I'm also a Brockton resident. And the reason I came today is because I want to see Brockton be better with our roads and with quality of life in general.
My name is Christine. I'm currently working as a summer intern for WalkMass, and I'm here today to see what we can improve for our cities in Massachusetts.
Oh,
Hi everyone, my name is Samira Morillo. I represent Brockton Workers Alliance, and actually we have a project related with the transportation services here in Brockton, and I am also a resident of Brockton, and I care about what happens.
Hi, Madeline Sullivan Hill, outreach coordinator for Mass.
Power on, line in.
it works.
And I am also a Brockton resident, and I just wanted to
It's easier so people can hear you.
come to show my support and my concerns as being a resident as well.
It worked well. Better if I turned it on.
Yeah.
Hi, Denise Simpson. I'm the Director of Environmental Justice at the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection. I'm also a Brockton resident. And I am thrilled to be here because I live on Thatcher Street, which if anyone knows what that is. And it's a really unsafe street where speeding is, so I'm glad to be a part of this conversation to see how we can make Brockton safe for people who walk and have disabilities.
Hi, my name is Mark Osborne. I'm a Brockton resident. I'm also a member of Brockton Bikes and the newly formed Brockton Walks group. And I'm interested in improvements in the quality of life, certainly being able to walk around safely and comfortably. Very important to me.
Hello, I'm Ulysses Varela, lifelong resident here in Brockton. I live here on the west side, so when I heard the audit was coming to my neighborhood, definitely marked this on my calendar. I want to be part of the solutions. Enough complaining. I want action, and I want to work alongside others to make a difference in our community. I feel like Brockton has a lot of potential. This is where we call Brockton is our home for many of us, and I want the community that we live in to prosper. So anything that I can do and be with the company of others who are committed to that cause, I'm all for it. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Charnell. I've grown up in Brockton pretty much my whole life. I'm currently a commercial lender at Northeastern Savings Bank. I also serve on the SETS committee for the Old Colony Planning Council. I'm also running for councilor at large here in the city of Brockton. You didn't mention that. So I mean, I think, forums like this, small groups, are very good and powerful to get the message across of what needs to be done in the city. I just want to be a part of that. So thank you, everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bo Chong Lee. I'm the Principal Transportation Planner with Old Colony Planning Council. I'm a certified road safety professional. I'm so great to be here and contribute my knowledge with this wonderful group. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Raymond Garrido. I am also a Principal Transportation Planner for the Old Colony Planning Council, and pedestrian safety and bicycle and pedestrian safety is part of what we do at Old Colony Planning Council. And so I'm glad to be here. We've done road safety audits and walk audits, and that's what we do. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Sean Bailey, Senior Transportation Planner with the Old Colony Planning Council. I've been working on all modes of transportation at OCPC for over 12 years now, and just happy to be here today and provide input and learn as much as I can.
Patrick Wynn, lifelong resident of Brockton, and here representing the Connecticut Park Association.
Hi everyone, my name is Nathan Newby. I'm an urban forester with the Commonwealth's Department of Conservation and Recreation. I manage a urban tree planting program here in Brockton called Greening the Gateway Cities. So I'm here today to hopefully scope out some potential tree pits, green strips, anywhere where I can get some trees planted.
Yeah, trees.
Hi everyone, Matt Dyer, Old Colony Planning. I'm a Senior Transportation Planner and happy to be here. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Johnny. I'm a program manager with Walk Massachusetts. I'm supporting Yolando here with this grant. A couple of housekeeping things. If you haven't signed in, please come and find me so I can get your name. And then we also have a couple of tools that will be circulating. So this is a handheld thermometer, so we can measure the surface temperature of different areas along our walk. And there's also a handheld speed detector floating somewhere right there. So if you see cars going fast, just point and aim, and you'll be able to either record the velocity of the vehicle or the temperature. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bryce Germain. I founded a tech startup in Cambridge, and we're working to make intersections safer. So we're learning what the community needs are, and here to support the community.
Hi, Chad Resco. I live downtown. Founder of Brockton Bikes. We just started Brockton Walks. Through Brockton Bikes, we got involved with road safety, and I now go to the Traffic Commission every month. I encourage people to come this Thursday, and every month. The agenda is quite interesting. A lot of very common themes in there. We have to slow people down in this city. And I'm also running for City Council at large, traffic and all that. And sorry, I know I spoke a lot, but Newby, got to give a shout out to Newby. We have 7 of his trees on our property downtown. It's a fantastic program. One of the things we're thinking of doing sort of through Brockton Bikes is organizing an adopt a tree program so that all those cities' street trees can be adopted by, hopefully, by the people who live in front of them or the businesses in front of them. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jorge Vega. I'm the school committee rep for Ward 1. So for me, today is an opportunity to listen and learn a little bit more about how we make things safer for our students. West right here is one of our Ward 1 schools. And speaking as a parent of 2 Brockton High graduates, somebody who's been here for 20 years, I want to make sure that our students are safe on their way to and from school.
Hi everyone, my name's Mary Waldron. So I've got a couple hats on right now. So first of all, I'm the Executive Director of Old Colony Planning Council. I am thrilled first, I have Yolanda, who is the delegate from the City of Brockton to Old Colony Planning Council. But we're also a partner in the outreach. So I'm going to be asking a little bit of you, who found out about this from social media? Who found out from a newsletter that we sent out? Who found out any other way? Email. Okay, perfect. Email. So we've got that piece is important for us to get that feedback because obviously communicating in this city is a lot of different ways, and including having things be translated. So Walk Massachusetts, thank you for having those flyers be translated. We did share them. There's also a group from Haitian Partners United. They are here with young people, and they're going to be participating. I'm just trying to get them to come over here. But I am also a resident, literally 3 blocks over this way. I tried to get a hold of, not all political people, but some political people, about speeding and some of the other things. Just yesterday we found a speed checker that was just installed in my street after 40 residents came up and had their voice. So those who are Brockton residents, those who are elected or want to be elected, listen and hear and try to find out how do we support the number of things that are necessary to make families, whether you have a 2-person carriage or a 1-person carriage or you're walking your dog. So the most important piece, right, I see so many students walking to this school from our neighborhoods, and that piece is really important to have the voices and be heard. So I know we have a lot to cover and some ground to cover, but Jim Breton from Senator Brady's office is here. Thank you to the Senator's office for supporting the work. So I'm going to turn this back over to...
I'll give it to Brandon. Yeah. And I'm Brennan Carney, Executive Director at Walk Massachusetts. Thanks so much for being here. We are going to bring the speaker along with us as well, in case it is loud along the way. And this is a interactive thing. We want to hear people's feedback. So if at any point you want to grab the mic and share some of your thoughts, just let me know. We'll bring this along with us. I'm going to leave it on. I'm just going to turn off the microphone so we don't have that announcement again, that power on. You know,
we have a few people to introduce themselves.
Oh, great. Perfect.
You can go right over here. Right here, Brendan.
Oh, hey. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jim Breton. I'm from Senator Michael D. Brady's office.
Great, thanks for being here. So, other folks want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Belinda Cesar. And Shell Aggie.
Oh yeah.
We're from Haitian Community Partners Foundation. We're representing, and we have a bunch of our campers with us today as well.
Yeah. People want to introduce themselves? So.
But they're the campers who are with us weekly for Camp Elevate with Haitian Community Partners.
West Elm Street, and we're gonna go walk down to Marion Street. We're gonna take a right there. We're gonna walk then completely down Marion Street. There's one side that has a sidewalk and one that doesn't, and then we're gonna take a right onto Belmont Street. Check out that intersection of Marion Street and Belmont Street. It's where there has been some crash. Moraine Street. I'm sorry, Moraine Street. There has been some crashes there and some fatalities, and then we're gonna walk down Belmont Street to Torrey Street, experience that intersection. And then we're going to walk back up on West Street back to West Middle School. So yeah, we'd love to hear you all's experience along the way. We'll stop and give people an opportunity to share. Today, we're experiencing this area of Brockton, but if you're also interested in what's happening on the east side, so on August 14th, you can meet us close to Brockton Hospital on Center Street, and we're going to have another walk audit in that area. But we've also had a walk audit in the Montello neighborhood and in the Campello neighborhood. And all of this is going to feed into the larger reports that we're putting together for the city.
Yeah, and that's what it takes, and that's what makes it worth it.
And we'll be expanding into now.
It takes us for us to cross from one side of the street to the other. Yeah, so try to imagine what this experience is for you, but also try to imagine a young person crossing the street or an older person trying to cross the street here.
It'd be interesting to hear what the traffic commission has talked, if they've talked about speed humps and stuff lately. Just at the
Hard to stop. It's communicated if you're looking at the school there, so yeah, it's people probably just taking their own, they're just, you know, violating the instructions of the road.
But one thing they could do is also have a red arrow, right? Because when you have a red arrow, that means you can't even take a turn right on red.
But no one's going to really do that, right? So people will just walk across the street here, so you're kind of taking a bit of a risk. So there's a bus stop over there.
So you're saying there should be a crosswalk?
I would say, like, if we want it for it to be, not every single bus stop needs a crosswalk, but if we shouldn't have a huge stretch of a roadway without any crosswalks available.
But the closest one is at the corner.
Yeah,
right
it's back
there,
at the
right?
corner. So where's the next one? I can't even see it. Yeah, I don't think there is going to be a next one.
No, I don't think
The grass is pretty good. The trees, the spacing is pretty good. You know, the crosswalk's wide enough. It's in good shape. Yeah, really, the only thing is just crosswalks more in more places.
You're gonna get me in trouble.
One amenity that we're experiencing right now is we're in the shade. So the shade is awesome because it actually like impacts people's experience when walking around. So Johnny, what's the temperature in the shade?
It's reading at 71.
So 71 in the shade and outside the shade.
110.
100. 97.
So 97. So it will significantly like allow folks to enjoy their walk, be comfortable and safe. So older adults will, you know, need this infrastructure for them to choose walking in their community. They need that respite when walking so that they don't have a heat stroke or other challenges.
Also, Yolanda, this is a white surface. Like, I bet if you register the black top over there, it'll be even a little bit more.
What's the temperature on the asphalt?
110.
110.
You said 110. Yeah.
Patrick?
Not just for the elderly, but young children can get something to heat stroke as well.
Yeah.
And we have tons of families, and we want to have a community with young kids wandering around safely. But if we've got 97 degrees out there everywhere, the kids are going to come to that heat stroke.
Yeah. So we need more trees in Brockton. I'm so happy we have somebody here looking at trees. And yeah, if we can have it on both sides of West Street, that's even better.
West Elm.
Oh, sorry, West Elm.
And you know, it's not just having trees, it's having the right proper tree in the right location as well.
That's right.
Cities planted trees on Main Street 20 years ago, those cherry trees, and they were the completely wrong trees to be planting on city streets. So we have to remember, like, it's not just doing something, but whether or not what we do is the right thing to do based on standards and science and observations.
Yeah, so doing it right matters. So yeah, choosing the right
Can I say
tree.
something on
Yeah.
that too? So like, Pat, I agree. Like using the right tree. The thing that I dislike the most as well when I see it happen is, you know, every year they'll come and they'll trim the trees, especially if it interferes with the power lines. And I don't think they're arborists doing that job. So like having some education and planting the right type of species, you know, so a tree matures properly, we give it every chance to survive as well, and also looks nice. You know, and you know, does the benefit of like the cooling, as we're pointing out now.
Can you mention how there was a conscious effort made with the instead of asphalt that they choose concrete on here?
Yeah, I mean, so this road was, I think back in, Mary, when was this, 2016, 2017, when West Elm was done? You know, I was happy that the choice was made. This is a very prestigious, you know, neighborhood. A lot of history, I'll say. And, you know, this was the right choice. It's, you know, cement, it's going to last long, gives great curb appeal to the historic homes and the nature of this neighborhood. So
It's cooler too.
Yeah, it's cooler?
Yeah.
All right. So that's another added benefit. But like those little details, I think, make a difference. So again, that's why I'm here. We need details. We need detail workers.
Great.
So why was the decision made here to do this on the west side, but when you're on the other parts of Brockton, it doesn't look like this?
So I think this was this road was so this road is somewhat of a main artery, you know, traffic coming. I wasn't part of that decision, so like, don't look at me. But
High crash.
high crash.
This was a high crash road. So basically, the state, Massachusetts, they designate certain areas where they see a lot of patterns of crashes. It was part of the top 200 in the state, or the top 5% crash clusters.
Cluster, right?
Yeah. So for cars and pedestrians, there were a couple of locations that were top 5% crashes.
So do those statistics have a bearing on whether or not it was concrete or asphalt?
No. Oh, you mean the sidewalk?
That's just for funding.
No, that's
So I want to, my opinion, chances are, because you said the word affluent, right? Somebody said it doesn't matter. It's broken windows. Every neighborhood does matter. Every neighborhood wants to look beautiful and great.
I agree.
And I'll tell you, if it costs a little more for cement, then you know we should always be doing it, because you know why, in the long run, it makes an old neighborhood that didn't have the affluence now affluent like the rest of the neighborhoods. I hate using that word, but that's what it comes down to, I think.
And I just think, just because I know affluent was stated, but I think the word really is historic, right?
Yeah.
So this street is used for all the kids going up to West Junior High. This street is also used for the cancer walk by Brockton Hospital, right? This route is often used, and it's both streetwise and also cars, but as you also notice, bikes. These bike lanes are really important. People have often said it's a pain in the you-know-what, but it's required if you're using any federal funds and state funds to have bike lanes. So we need to make the city more walkable. But to your point, every street, because I've walked from my house down to downtown Brockton going, I don't remember the name of the street, but it's not in an affluent area, but it's a very working class neighborhood. Those sidewalks are deplorable. So we need to make policymakers around and listening to help prioritize all neighborhoods and the statement and the state that they're in. So Old Colony Planning Council goes out and does a test of and what's it called, pavement management. So we look across all of our 17 communities the ability of having these roads be safe.
Thanks, Mary. Another comment here, and then we'll start walking.
Sorry. Thank you. Just I wanted to add something what you said about the crash. We don't need to have crash to make changes. We need to avoid them to happen and to protect people's lives. So it doesn't matter the situation, but what really matters is the people's life and safety. So that should be the priority, not the accident or thing to make changes in our community.
The crashes are weighted.
Yeah.
For, right. Right. When I say crashes, when I say crashes, it's those crashes that involve personal injury are weighted to the top too. So it's property damage, but the personal injuries and fatalities, those crashes, it makes the intersection get more points, and that's how it's weighted.
Yeah. And so that doesn't mean that Brockton needs to prioritize those things. Those are ways that the state might fund Brockton to make some changes to these streets. But Brockton also gets money, it's called Chapter 90, to be doing repaving programs, and that money can also be for sidewalks, for bike lanes, for speed humps. Other communities have used that money for that. So Brockton can decide, hey, we want to prioritize these other things, and they can use that bucket of money. The bucket of money coming from the state for this specific program is around crashes and high crash intersections. But absolutely hear you, we want to prevent the crashes, so we are not responding to them, but we're actually being proactive. So
Pushed up the sidewalk a bit, so that is something that can be addressed. I wonder if it has been reported to See Click Fix. So if anybody here has See Click Fix on their phone, it's an opportunity for you to report a challenge or something that's broken to the city for them to address. So if it hasn't been addressed, I mean, if it hasn't been reported, we should definitely report it, and then we'll put that into our walk audit report in general.
No, just
It's 2 lines. So there are other areas of Brockton where we're using a laddered crosswalk. So it's a design choice. It's good, but it could be better, and we could do better in many other places. Does this thing have visibility?
Well, like you said, if you can enhance the pavement marking, the color, brightness, and also rather than 2 straight white lines, they can do more like a ladder.
Yeah, the ladder. Just a remnant of some of the challenges that exist on our roadway, and even like, yeah, what are we doing with those challenges after a crash too?
It's become abundantly clear to me that there is no protocol after an accident. Well, there is some protocol. Listen, so if there's gas in the street, the Brockton Fire will come along and they'll put sand down there, or there's oil. They will do that. And obviously they transport the injured and that kind of thing. But in terms of parts, this is hardly the first. There was one up on Pleasant Street that I reported to C-Click Fix, not Naive, but right near there. And honestly, I didn't pick it up because I wanted to see how long it would stay there. And it stayed there for about 4 months. And the only way we got it cleaned up is because on Keep Brockton Beautiful Day, that's the one day you can get stuff removed from the streets of the city fairly easily, including refrigerators. So that day I talked to Pat Hill, and they came and got it. But if you looked at the C-Click Fix, all they did was pass the buck, and they said they referred it to code enforcement, which says to me they wrote the owner a ticket for the piece of the car that was in front of the house. The only problem is there's a big fence, and there's no gate in the fence. So you tell me the owner threw it over there? That doesn't make any sense. Then I go to the police logs, sure enough, multiple car accidents right there. So that said to me that came from an accident, and we can go to the Brockton police logs, and I'm sure you'll find an accident right here for this. So yeah, someone needs to take responsibility for getting this stuff out of here after an accident.
So we're going to experience this crosswalk here. Let's see if this car stops for us. There is, at this crosswalk, there is a tree that's kind of blocking the pedestrians. It just needs to be trimmed back and cleaned up, and Jed is doing that for us right now, which is great. So we have some actions that we're taking right here at this crosswalk and on this walk audit. And this is also a bus stop, so it's great that we have a crosswalk at a bus stop. Unfortunately, there is no shade at this bus stop. It would probably be nice to also have a bench here. So a bench and some shade would really help our users of BAT bus. And right now, it's free to take the BAT bus. So there has been an increase of ridership, and we want to be able to support those riders with the amenities that they need.
What we probably don't need at all of them is doing the beakers where you press so you can have the lights that shows that someone's waiting to cross.
Oh, can I say something? I live in this house, and then this place is especially during the winter when it's snowing, and we are taking care of. But the other, for example, this part of my house from here to here taken care of, the ice, but the other side never taken care of. I don't know, is it the rule or not? Like people has to take care of the snow?
The snow is so when it comes to snow removal, it's the property owner's responsibility. So it's whoever's house or business is right in front of that sidewalk is responsible for removing the snow. So that's one challenge somebody has shared, and it's something just to keep in mind. You can also document those kind of things on your sheet too. John, do you want to add something?
Just one comment. So this is, I think, the only crosswalk that we've seen since we've crossed from the middle school. So that is obviously a long distance to sort of walk if you're trying to cross safely. So just something to think about, right? Like, let's say a kid lives on this side, or maybe they live halfway down what we just walked, and they need to cross the other side. They either have to come up all the way to this, or go to the other one, which is, in practice, not the best. The other thing I want to mention is that, yes, this is a bike lane, but it also seems to be serving. I think there was like a moped that just used this as its own sort of lane. So just thinking about how we're demarcating the difference between travel lanes for vehicles and all other modes of travel, so like bicycles and stuff like that.
Great. So we'll keep walking.
113, 125.
So that's 12 degrees warmer in the same spot. And for a dog, that's burning your feet right there. And a lot of people don't realize that.
You can use the lines, or you can actually.
DCI plants trees.
One thing to notice is we do have different material for the sidewalks here, but we also have some trees that are just not well maintained and they're not like well taken care of. There's not a big tree pit, and those trees have lifted up the sidewalks, and that impacts people's mobility in the neighborhood, especially if they have like challenges with mobility, if they are in a wheelchair or if they use a walker, and just general pedestrians in general. Like you could easily be a person who's able-bodied and you're going for a run and you trip at one of these areas, and that can cause some real damage. So yeah, that's something just to keep in mind. To a Google Drive where you can share all your pictures that you've taken during this walk audit. So if you see things like where we're seeing right now, which is like a really unsafe section of sidewalk, you can upload that on the Google Drive and we'll communicate that out on our walk audit report. An intersection right now, and there are 4 crosswalks available. This is a really narrow landing spot for pedestrians. And yeah, it's not, I feel like this is definitely not safe because I feel like this landing should be a lot wider. We can narrow one of these roads a bit, which will actually change speed, and it'll just create a bigger space for people to like move around. Right now it's like really designed for like one person to be at this intersection to use the crosswalk.
Someone had mentioned about having barrels, waste barrels along the way, because people are just throwing their trash out along the way.
Not a single trash can.
Yeah. I agree with Mary on that, but unfortunately, unless we have trash management, we're picking those stuff up regularly, it just becomes a place where people come and put their trash, and now it gets in the environment. We're having a problem coming to the park.
It can't be a part of the traffic route. I mean, the trash route. Like you're on the street one day a week.
Yeah.
So that's up to policymakers. So we get your ward councilors, not necessarily corner office. I'm talking about getting your ward councilors, getting school committee folks. The more people you can get together, the better off. And you don't have to have a ward meeting to it. You can create your own meeting in your own backyard to get people to be engaged. It's the only way.
Yeah, one recommendation we have with waste management and like having waste bins is a public-private partnership. So if there is a business in the area, how can that business also work with the city to have that waste bin there, which is an amenity for people who are walking around that business, and something that people can use just when walking throughout the city. So yeah, it's basically public-private partnerships really help with those things. Something else just to notice here is how far back the crosswalk is, and how cars, they have to like inch their way into traffic here onto Belmont. And because they have to do that, that does impact people who are using the crosswalk. The crosswalk is a bit further back than I think I would like. If it was closer to Belmont Street, it would make it safer for people to get from one side of Marine Street to the other. Another thing that you would notice here is the crosswalks they're very faded on Belmont Street, so they definitely need to get repainted. But how are we going to repaint it? If we could repaint it so that it could be a laddered crosswalk, that would be better than what we have right here, which is just like 2 lines. The 2 lines are something that is widely used in Brockton, but we should definitely be transitioning over to the laddered crosswalk, which are a bit, a lot more safer. I think it could be wider, and it would actually impact the road speeds a little bit too. So there is a pretty large breakdown lane, so that could easily be more space for a sidewalk too. Is tactile pavers. They're like these yellow, bumpy things that you might see at crosswalks, and they are used for people who are visually impaired. So if you have a white cane you will actually use that to help you navigate a crosswalk. It's basically communicating to you how to get from one side of a crosswalk to the other in a safe way. Unfortunately, they're not where they're needed in a lot of spots in Brockton. But the piece is, as we change our roadways and as we make those improvements, we will be adding those. Watch out for the tree roots. And so if you wanted to get to that crosswalk over there, you'd have to walk back that way, take that crosswalk over there. And then if you want to come back over, like, so there should be a crosswalk maybe somewhere here, I don't know. This area is redesigned. We should think about like how can we like overall redesign this area for all road users.
And if you have a large group of students who are walking to BHS, they're going to be there, and it's going to be large enough that they're going to have to go into the parking lot.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not safe, but also the business probably doesn't want a bunch of people loitering in the parking lot either, but you're going to force them in there.
And human behavior is gonna, people are gonna do what they think is best for them and what's safe for them. So even though there's no crosswalk there, people are gonna cross there.
That's what I've done that for sure. That's for sure.
Does anybody have a speed radar?
To make one lane go straight, I think straight and left, and then the right lane is right turn off. It looks like this isn't all walk.
Did you capture any?
Everyone's gonna slow down now over here.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's not bad right now, but we're impacting the data. Basically, like, how are we like choosing trees and how
so you were part of our original zone.
Spaces for them to grow properly. You can have
something much closer, like let's say 30 feet, right? But they've got, I don't know, you would know the term, but they've got driveway and then parking lot.
39. 40 was the highest.
Whipping out and going onto West Street. So if there was more, we can sharpen a lot of these different intersections and make them more 90 degrees, and that will like slow cars, and they'll actually make a full stop before taking a right. The other problem here is that crosswalk again is way too far back, so that crosswalk should be closer to West Street, because most cars in Brockton will just go right over that crosswalk and then they'll try to inch their way into traffic. So it's not really being useful right now.
And you know, I have a young son who just got his driver's license last year, so I remember all this, but he's still afraid, like the whole stop sign, where is that?
Yeah.
You come over there, you can't see anything. Right. It really, logically, should be closer to where you can see something.
Yeah.
It's the sight distance. That bush and that fence, that bush right there, it blocks the view of people looking left. And it's coming around a curve. So if you stop down there, it's useless because you can't see through it. You gotta
the whole stop and the crosswalk should be a lot closer to us. I would love to just go around real quick. Again, just share your name and one takeaway. It could be something that's being done right, or one thing that you saw that was a challenge that exists on our walk. If you know the location, great. If you don't know, it's fine. It can also be a general thing. So something that I would share is, again, my name is Yolando. We went on this walk, and there is a contrast that exists. That contrast is good to see on a day like today. So West Elm, there's a lot of amenities that are there, pretty wide sidewalks. I felt comfortable. It would be nice if we had more crosswalks, specifically where there are bus stops. But it was good to see that contrast in comparison to Belmont Street. I feel Belmont Street, there's a lot of improvements to be made there. But we know what is being done right. I think we need to see how we can do that in more places. Do we want to go left or right? How about left? Jed.
The mic is dead?
Yeah, the mic is dead, unfortunately. So speak up so everyone can hear you.
I just wanted to say, these observations don't just go to Walk Mass and other places, but the walk we had in Montello, there was a comment made by, I forget his name, but he runs the farmer's market, about how the speed limits were contradictory on North Montello. One direction it's like 40, another direction it's 30 or something. So I told Jeff Keenan, I think his name, he's a DPW guy who is assigned, he staffs those traffic commission meetings. He got curious about it, he went out and investigated it, and what happened is that Google Street View, right, their camera dutifully reflected our speed signs, and there's a contradiction in our speed signs. And so it was not just because he's also the guy who will report errors to Google and to Waze and say, hey, you got this wrong, that street's actually closed. So it is on the Traffic Commission agenda on Thursday for a fix. And I'll stop with that.
One observation.
Hi, I'm Nathan Newby again with the Department of Conservation and Recreation Urban Tree Planting Program. I noticed a lot of safety concerns with some upheaval of sidewalks, depressions of sidewalks, vegetation growing into sidewalks, you know, kind of not in line with ADA compliance, not in line with any type of additional safety for pedestrians, cars trying to pull in and out of streets. So I guess I just wanted to really highlight the importance of the right species being planted in restricted urban environments like this. You know, with importance on planting species that have root systems that won't upheave a sidewalk, or the proper planting techniques of a tree so their roots aren't originally planted too high that will lead to upheaval. So that's my main takeaway, just mostly with the vegetation and how improperly planting or choosing species may impact pedestrian or vehicle safety.
Thank you.
Bryce Schmidt, and I think I'm reinforcing what you had said. This street here on West Elm, am I correct, seems to be something that's, while there's some opportunities, a good reference point for if you could propagate a lot of those best practices across the community. I think that would be welcome from a change perspective.
I'm John from the Planning Department, City of Brockton. What I noticed is, you know, especially on Belmont Street, some of the commercial properties, we have some sins of the past where too many curb cuts, too many interactions with pedestrians, and potentially cars coming in through those curb cuts. I think maybe closing some of those off might make it a little bit more coherent and be a little safer.
Hi, Matt Dyer, Old Colony Planning. My takeaway is that the city has a lot of great potential, and that this work here to highlight what's wrong and how can we fix it is the right step to making it a really nice walkable city, an enjoyable city to be in.
I'm Jorge Vega. For me, my big takeaway is like, it's pretty powerful when you bring a bunch of residential experts together. I've said to a couple of you, I'm very comfortable being the dumbest person in the room. And what this walk, aside from me being able to see the things, but to be able to learn what would the lines need to be to make things safer here? What, you know, why does this tree matter or not matter? It's not information that it's not an expertise I have. But it's exciting to hear it and you know, and then be able to take it to the places where it needs to be said out loud. So I think opportunities like this for elected officials to walk with residents who know more than they do is pretty powerful.
I also want you to not sell yourself short about the expertise that you bring yourself. Like, because
lived experience.
Yeah, the lived experience is super important, being able to hear that, and also you being able to share the school experience is huge. And being able to hear that. So.
Sean Bailey, Old Colony Planning. I'd say one of my main takeaway was just the great difference in temperature from the trees on the sidewalk. You know, 20 degrees cooler from the under the tree to the sidewalk, and then I believe it was 30 degrees difference from the street. And especially on, you know, we're right in the heart of summer, warm days. You know, comfortable walking is essential for people who are, you know, walking to school or walking for recreation, walking to work or shopping or whatever. Just that, and you know, some of the distorted sidewalks that we saw from roots being you know, breaking through the sidewalks is something that needs to be addressed for people who may be in wheelchairs or other mobility devices.
It's funny, I don't think we talked about it, but we all just kind of walked under the shade to do this debrief, right? Like, it was just,
exactly.
Yeah.
And this is a cool day too.
Yeah.
So just introduce yourself and then one takeaway.
Gail Abunas from the engineering department. Sorry I was a little late, but I will thank everybody
for your input, and if any question I can answer, I will be ready for it. But thank everybody for what we're doing. This is a must. The community involvement and seeing what we can environment Brockton, it's a must, and thank you for that.
Patrick Quinn from the Dealerfield Park Association, and the one takeaway is what I guess, just to piggyback on just the shade and the hotness and the sun, it's a very uncomfortable walk when there's not dappled shade.
Mary Waldron, Old Colony Planning Council, and a resident in the neighborhood. I'm going to piggyback on what Jorge's saying. The engagement, coming to the table, being asked to come to the table is really important. This is held during the daytime. That does leave a lot of people out, but one of the things Jorge talked about is a school committee having the report come out and have it be presented. It would be great to get a city councilor to do the same thing when the report's there. Let's get the information out and get it to the communities.
Ray Garino, Old Colony Planning Council. The one thing that strikes me is that, off of West Elm Street, you start to go on the side streets. The condition of the pavement of the streets and the sidewalks as well, they're very, very poor condition. The sidewalks are all broken up, and this is prevalent, unfortunately, throughout the city. I think the city needs to focus a lot on their residential roads, off the collector roads and off the arterials, because once you get like we took a side street there, and it was total different than when you're on West Elm. So we need to fix the conditions of the sidewalks, because people can trip and fall so very easily.
Okay. My name is Guo Chang Li with OCPC Planner. My biggest takeaway is this is walkable. It's accessible for residents and our business customers. The biggest takeaway is possibly integrate the traffic calming, because we're looking at the human scale. If people are driving 40 miles, you definitely don't feel comfortable, walking or bicycling. So traffic calming countermeasures such as narrowing the driving lane, from wide 12-foot long, maybe to 10.5, and a couple other things like intersection design, the Belmont Street, that's related to the geometry. That it's a Y-shaped intersection. It could be much safer if it's a T-in, more like a right angle intersection. So just looking into the designing perspective. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Johnny, WalkMass. Something that stood out to me during this walk is the potential for opportunity. So I'm thinking about these sort of shoulders on West Elm Street that are maybe bike lanes. They could sort of be made different colors, sort of indicate that sort of separation from the travel lane for vehicles and then travel lanes for bicycles. And then just thinking about prioritization, right, when we're reinvesting in safety for sections of the community that we walked on, right, it was very clear that there was a big difference between this street right here, West Elm, and then everything else. It just kind of went downhill from there. So thinking about prioritization for the folks that need it most.
Hi, I'm Jim Breton from Senator Michael D. Brady office, and regrets from the senator that he couldn't make it. He loves to do everything. Our heart is in Brockton. I want to thank all the professionals here, Old Colony Planning Council, Mass Walks, but this is where urban planning starts. It starts in the neighborhood and the walking and like that. Please call our office with any issues you might have at 617-722-1200. And I would like to have seen more city councilors here, but at this point, it was just great. Thank you everybody for participating, and it was actually most educational to do the walk. Thank you.
Yeah, Brennan Carney from Walk Massachusetts. I think the big thing for me really was the heat, doing this, middle of the day, and how great it was when there were some big shade trees. It was so much different on Belmont. It was so hot. Yeah. So yeah, the more we can do to think about more trees, even if it's on commercial properties and stuff like that, and they can take care of the trees to help bring that to the public realm.
Thank you. Hi, Mark Osborne, Brockton resident, FOM, friend of Mary, FOI, friend of Yolando. So one thing I want to take away is that we have choices to make here in Brockton. We don't have unlimited resources. And I agree with everybody about uneven sidewalks. That's a big danger. But one thing I think we could do quickly is repainting the crosswalks and the stop lines to make them make sense, because right now they are way too far back from the actual intersections. And it's just, that's one thing that we could take care of, I think, quickly, and it would make a difference.
FOM, friend of Mark's.
Thank you. Solmaz?
My name is Solmaz, and I'm also Brockton resident, and I'm living on the West Elm Street. And one of the things that we are talking about, since we are in the summer, we are talking about the shade, but also I'm always witnessing that these kids are walking through in front of my house, and during the winter, and then the ice, it is very icy, and they are walking on the road, not on the sidewalk. And this is, I think, one of the main problems. Even though I like to walk during the winter, I'm walking through the police station, new police station they are building. It is impossible to walk during the winter because of the ice. Like, I have to walk on the road, and then I have to watch the cars. That's what I just want to kind of ask what we can do about it. I know the residents has to clean up the snows, but they are not doing it. So what we should be doing it, or city should be doing it about it.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Samira Murillo from Brockton Workers Alliance. So one of the things, my takeaway is dangerous debris on the sidewalk. I think that was you was saying that the people is responsible or something like that to pick up when it's a car accident or something like that, but it should be more safe, because also we found some glass on the walk, and that's not safe for nobody, even for pets, to walk there. And the other thing is, I saw also some branches, trees coming out on the walk side, so we needed to duck a little bit to be able to go through, so that's not safe as well, just to highlight that. And the other thing I shared with some of you while I was walking around is I love this neighborhood, but I feel that every side of Brockton deserves the same. It doesn't matter where we are living, because we did the south and it's so different. And it's terrible in the south side of Brockton. And that's the business place as well. So it is a very important side of Brockton, and all the sides should be the same, equally treated. So, I don't know.
Thanks for coming to two walk audits.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hi, I'm Christine. I'm with WalkMass. Something I noticed was in line with what we talked about, ADA compliance. A lot of the tactile bumps that did exist kind of face the wrong direction. So if somebody were to be visually impaired, they would be guided to walk straight into traffic rather than towards the crosswalk. So maybe working on when we do ADA compliance, to do it correctly at these intersections.
I'm Madeline Solomon Hill, Mass DEP's Environmental Outreach Coordinator, and I agree with you in the wintertime. I think we should try to do a walk in the wintertime when there's snow, because it is crazy. I see these kids walking in the street to get to school, and they're little, and it's crazy. So I think that is a big issue in Brockton, and I agree with everyone. The sidewalks, the side sidewalks off of West Elm Street, they're horrible, and improvement. And I know it's going to take time, but this is really great. This is where we start. Thank you.
Janine Simpson, Director of Environmental Justice at DEP and Brockton resident. One thing that I do as in my hat with DEP is talk about equity. That street, West Elm Street, is what every street should look like, without question. I know we don't have resources to do that, but if that is the street that is going to be, the thoroughview, and that's what a street should look like, why can't every street in Brockton look like that? It doesn't make sense that you're in one street and you feel like you're in a different part of a city when you go to another street. It doesn't make sense to me. So hopefully we can continue to do this. And Rolando, thank you so much for inviting me. Mary, wherever you are, I know you're somewhere. We've engaged too, and I hope we can continue to engage and make Brockton a better city. Thank you.
Mary?
I just want to add, thank you to Brockton Community Access, right? So
Yeah.
by Brockton Community Access here, it's going to be on cable. It'll be on, not cable, that's the old school, but it'll be streamed, and then it'll be by a link, and we can share that with Walk Massachusetts, Old Colony Planning Council, school committee, neighborhoods, friends, whatever. So just thank you to Mike Simmons and the Brockton Community Access. Just another great way of getting word out in our community.
Today we're illustrating that there's a real demand for these safety efforts in Brockton when it comes to our pedestrian realm and our public realm when it comes to our roadways. So yeah, there's this demand, and we need to communicate this demand today and tomorrow, and there's an election coming up, so talk to these different elected officials who are currently in office or the ones who are trying to get in office, and let them know that we want to see these improvements, that we want our roads to be designed for all of us, not just some of us who are in our cars or some of us who are in certain neighborhoods, but we need to make sure that these improvements exist in all parts of Brockton for all different users. So thanks again for coming out today, and if you do want...
Well, what are next steps?
Oh, so yeah, next steps, you have these sheets. If you want to keep it, it's okay, we just have to take a picture of it. We are gonna take all of your recommendations and insights that you shared today, and we're gonna fold that into a report. We have 4 reports that are gonna come out for each walk audit that we are conducting in Brockton, and those reports are gonna be shared with key decision makers at the city level, at the state level, with folks that are connected to the MBTA and different agencies, just to see how we can make these type of improvements at different parts of the city. And yeah, we're gonna also have different presentations along the way when the reports are made available. Anything else you want to add, Brendan?
I love hearing some of these comments because the point of these reports is to come up with some short-term recommendations and longer-term recommendations for when there would be funding down the road to do bigger ideas, or also if there is a development that's happening and they need to think about different types of traffic mitigation or community benefits, like we want to make sure these types of recommendations are included in some of those packages. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So we will
we'll share the report with you all.
Yeah.
If we missed anything, feel free to add a comment or email me back and say, please add this in. All right? Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to mention